somewhat deep pan on a medium heat with 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and I'm going to go in with a diced onion. And my heat is low, if you're wondering, and the reason being I don't want to burn the onion, and I'm going to add garlic in a second, and we don't want to burn that. We just want to flavor the oils. And if you've ever seen me make curry dishes, you know it is pretty much the same technique, except the ingredients that we're using today, which is curry chicken with potato and spinach, and this is just baby spinach. As that starts coming up to temperature, I'm going to go in with 6 cloves of garlic. I want a bit of fresh ground black pepper, as well as some jeera or cumin seeds. And for some heat, I've got a large Scotch bonnet pepper that I gave a chop, 2 seeds and everything. You don't have to add that Scotch bonnet pepper in here, or you can remove the seeds, or just add as much as you can handle. I want the entire thing. I like my curry dishes to have that nice kick to it. It's been about 5 minutes since we started off. Now, what you see here is some Caribbean green seasoning that I tossed in, and that is 2 tablespoons of Caribbean green seasoning. I am not seasoning the chicken and allowing it to marinate. This is why the Caribbean green seasoning is going in here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for the recipe for that Caribbean green seasoning, you can find it at CaribbeanPot.com. What I must mention is, if you are marinating the chicken overnight or for a couple hours, I would recommend salt, black pepper, and the Caribbean green seasoning. Give it a good mix. Put some plastic wrap over it in the fridge. Let it stay there for a couple hours, and that will work out nicely for you. In all honesty, you will get a better tasting dish at the end. What we're going to do now is bring that back up to a little sizzle. It's now time to add all of your lovely curry powder in there. And Caribbean green seasoning, if you're new to Caribbean cooking, it is just a blend or a puree of all the herbs that we like using in our dishes. It's usually blended with water, with vinegar, or in my case I use olive oil. And you know, in my one I have a ton of garlic and pimento peppers in there as well. My heat is still on medium low, and I don't want to burn the curry. I just want to pull out all of the lovely flavors, the spices, which makes up a good curry powder. It's been going now for 3.5 minutes since we added the curry powder, and your kitchen should have the lovely aroma of a good curry. What we need to do at this point here is add some water to the pot. So that's ½ cup of water. Scrape the bottom of the pot. And this step here, the first step, we sort of fried or wet toasted all of the spices which makes up the curry powder. This step, by adding the water in here, we're cooking out the rawness of that curry. And for that lovely Caribbean Trinbagonian flavor, you just added some anchor masala. Visit your local Caribbean store, or maybe the Amazon have it, I don't know. But go out and support the Caribbean brands, man. And my curry powder is my own, that is my own blend. But I highly recommend, if you don't make your own blend, support the Caribbean companies. That anchor masala, if you don't have anchor masala, you can use ground toasted cumin, which we also call jeera, and that will give it that lovely flavor as well. It will take about 5 minutes to burn off all that water that we added there. We want to get back to the point where we've seen the oil that we started off with, and when you move your spoon, you'll want to see that division like Moses parting this. Yo boy, we get all biblical and all kind of thing here, but anyhow, this is where we want it to be. We're going to turn up the heat now to medium high, as I said there, and now we're going to start adding the pieces of chicken. And my chicken is basically chicken legs with the thigh and back attached, that I cut up into serving size pieces. And we didn't marinate it overnight, as I said, or a couple hours or anything like that. I'm just trying to be gentle not to make a mess on the stove, but you want to sort of coat the pieces of chicken with all that curry goodness that we created from the start there. Don't let that go to waste. No, sir. After you've done that, turn the heat down to medium, put the lid on it, and the chicken will sprout its own natural juices. I did remove most of the skin and all of the fat that I could get in contact with. Dark meat, bony meat will always work best when it comes to making a curry dish. That's just my humble opinion. Well, not so humble because I will be preaching that like no tomorrow. Just before I put the lid on there, I want to go in with my salt. We can just shift our attention over to this side now on the other burner. I have a pot with 4 large potatoes that I cut up into 2-inch pieces in salted water, and it's been boiling there. We want to pre-boil the potato just until it's about 80% cooked all the way, and we're going to drain it and then add it to the pot. It's been about 10 minutes and I've stirred it about 3 times already. Just going to hit it one more quick stir, and here is where we're going to add a few things. One being the potato that we pre-cooked, water, and I'm going to add in total 1.5 cups of water, and being very gentle, I'm just going to tuck the potato in, and I'm going to scrape the bottom of the pot while I'm doing that. All that fond is down there. We want to pull out all that niceness, and I like to pre-cook the potato because the chicken won't take long to cook, and I really want the pieces of potato to maintain their shape as everything happens here. So just a tiny bit more water in there. It won't take long for it to come up to a boil. So at this point is where I'm going to add my roughly chopped spinach, which has been washed thoroughly. Sitting on the counter here, but my counter clean, so don't fret too much. I'm going to put the lid on there, turn my heat down to medium-low. Excuse me, I'm just going to put my lid on there, let that sort of wilt down, and then I'm going to gently stir it. Sup, soldiers? Listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me. Email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, them butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pod. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irie? It's been 10 minutes since we added the potato and the spinach. This is going to thicken up a bit more, but I also want it to have that gravy. Taste it for salt, adjust the salt, and you're done. You know, you can turn it off because the residual heat is going to further thicken up the gravy or the sauce. Great with roti, great with rice. I'm gonna have this with some bus-up-shot roti. If you're looking for a recipe for bus-up-shot roti or paratha roti as some people call it, head over to CaribbeanPod.com. The reason why I like adding the potato pre-boil is because it speeds up the cook time, because while the chicken was cooking, the potato was already cooking on the side. So you notice how quickly we did this. Curry chicken with potato and spinach. Irie, don't forget to taste and adjust that salt. Irie. What's up, soldiers? Don't forget to click subscribe. If you've already clicked subscribe, hit that bell notification thing. I want to all you missing out on the new videos, man. Come on, click.